What's up everybody and welcome back to the channel. In the First Descendant, you are going to be spending a large amount of your time farming for specific pieces of weapons or characters or just mats in general, because the entire game's crafting system is based on essentially completing these loops and then having an RNG chance of the thing dropping that you need for whichever thing you want to research next. Now, Sharen is a big part of this because she represents an entire loop, a gameplay mechanic of her own, which at the time of recording this video, she's the only one that's able to do this, and that is basically infiltrating outposts. This means that instead of just going in guns blasting and blowing up everything, you essentially sneak in with her in stealth mode and deactivate either 3 or 4 of these reactors or power stations or whatever the hell they are inside the outpost, and that then gives you an additional chance to roll on another pattern. Oftentimes this is a pattern that is not available through any other way of getting it, and gives you additional ways to roll on specific items, weapons and things like descendants that you are possibly looking for. Now, when it comes to actually building Sharen, a lot of people are not going to be too fond of her kit, or at the very least that's been the case for me and my friends. None of us are really maining her, but you do kind of want to have her so that you can partake in this whole stealth shenanigans and basically getting these additional chances at rolls on gear. Eventually I'll also build obviously a sniper Sharen, but you know, that's so far down the line I can't even see it. But either which way, I wanted to just share with you how I set my Sharen up to essentially do every single outpost. I don't have any problems. I have enough toughness and survivability, but also enough duration on my camouflage that I don't have a problem with if it's 4 reactors or 3, or if they're very fast spaced out, or you know, anything like that. This build does not require you to spend any catalysts or anything like that, any activators, nothing like that. The only thing that I'm using is mods which have been leveled up that I'm already using on other characters, and of course I'm using a decent weapon. So starting us off with weapons, first of all, you're going to need something that can really fucking blast, because oftentimes when you are inside the outpost and you've just done the reactors, as soon as you pop off and come out of camouflage to attack the boss, you're going to have a huge amount of aggro on you. So you do need something that can actually push out quite a bit of DPS. Now, the good news is there are some fantastic candidates, and some of these weapons are weapons that you would be leveling up in any case because they're just that good. So I'm looking at things like the T-Cage, so Thunder Cage is great, Python is great. Pretty much anything that is fast firing, and you know, like you can even use things like, let's see, what else have I got in my loadout? Yeah, I mean, the Tamer can work as well if you're so inclined. You can use Enduring Legacy. The bottom line is you want a weapon that can deal decent damage. Just for example, I will show you what my Thunder Cage build looks like. So if you have something that's dealing like this much DPS, then from the clip that you just saw, that's basically the kind of shredding that you can do, which means that you're not going to have a problem with these guys getting aggro you and, you know, blowing you up. I'm not going to worry too much about explaining the mods and everything like that on the Thunder Cage. I will be releasing a short little video on my Thunder Cage in any case, but there's tons of them out there by tons of other creators. It's like the most used submachine gun next to the Python, so I don't think you'll have a problem. That's the point though, just get yourself a gun that bangs. Now, the part that's actually important in this particular video is the Descendant mods, because again, we have limited capacity due to the fact that we're not spending any, you know, upgrade materials, like, you know, we're not increasing the max capacity, and you know, we're not going to be blowing any additional catalyst into her right at the moment right now. So the only 2 that we have available when you get her right off the start is you have a Xantic and an Alamandine. Okay. But the point is, you want to be getting as many skill duration mods into her deck, and you also want to be just giving yourself a little bit of survivability. Now, in my opinion, this is kind of like, I think, the best loadout that you can get when it comes to this specifically. The skill that you're trying to make better is this one over here. This is active camouflage. This is where she, you know, the way she cloaks. Now, the point with this skill is what you want to be doing is you want to be increasing its duration as much as possible, because the original 10 seconds that you get is not good enough for some of the later outposts in some of the bigger areas that have a bigger distance to cover, even if you are grappling, hooking around in it, and have, you know, 4 areas that you have to hack instead of 3. So you want to be giving yourself as much duration as possible. I don't know if 20.1 seconds is the maximum, but that's the highest I've been able to get it, and it's actually through a combination of things. So first of all, Battle of Stamina is really good here because it gives you some survivability in terms of max HP, but also gives you some skill duration. So booyah. Then I am pairing it with a almost fully leveled increased defense, just to give me a little bit of additional defense as well. And these are pretty much my two ones which give me survivability, all right? So that I can just quickly assassinate the enemy boss, because as soon as you kill the dude that spawns, once you finish all the hacking, all the rest of the shit despawns and stops killing you, stops shooting you. So you should be killing that thing as fast as possible. So skill extension is huge for us here because this gives us a massive amount of skill duration. And then last but certainly not least, we're also using maximized duration for another huge boost. Even though it's giving us a negative skill power modifier, the point is this is just our outpost hacker. That's all that we're using it for. We don't give a shit about anything else, so that's it. So through the use of essentially these three, Battle of Stamina, skill extension, and maximum duration, we are boosting ourselves up from a 10-second to a 20.1 second. However, there are two other, let's call it secret sauce pieces that will actually get you to the 20.1. I believe with just these three mods, you're going to be at about 17 seconds. So if you want to get another 3 seconds, here's how. What you can do is you can get yourself two-piece annihilation. Two-piece annihilation increases your skill duration by 5.7% as well. So there's another small little micro bump here. And then you can also just look for yourself for a throwaway reactor that has skill duration up. Both of these increase your time of active camouflage more, and this is how I'm able to get to the 20.1 seconds. So if you don't have this, you'll be sitting at about 17. Now guys, don't worry about it. I was sitting at 17 seconds for like the longest time before I did this shit as overkill. I think 17 seconds personally, according to me, once you start knowing the outpost layouts and stuff like that, is fine. But 20 seconds is so fucking comfortable. Like you can literally just walk around inside the outpost and hack the shit at your leisure. So, you know, it's super easy. But that's it. That is essentially my Sharen't setup right now. This is not like an end game build or anything like that, but you're gonna need a Sharen't that can hack and that can bang and gunfight when you actually finish the hack, unless you have buddies with you that are doing the gunfighting for you, which is absolutely something that you can do. But this little setup right here will be just putting in the work for you and getting all those hacks done. And that's it for the video. Thank you so much for watching, especially if you made it this far. Let me know how you set your Sharen't up. Actually, I'd be super interested if you guys let me know which of you are maining Sharen't or playing sniper Sharen't, or you know, whatever, skill power Sharen't or something like that. I'm super interested. It is not a descendant that you see a lot. However, I do believe that there's a lot of descendants that we still have to kind of like discover their niche and where they really fit in. Of course, her niche is hacking, but I think she's also like a badass fucking sniper. So I'm getting ready for something like that, but I'd love to hear from you guys if you've already put something like that together. I'd love to see it. Other than that, it's just super important to me that you have a fantastic morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. Till next video, fucking cheers.